Bob, of course, has his special this coming Sunday night, which is at 8 o'clock. But following you...
We have Dean.
...is another special.
Mac Davis after him.
Mac Davis has one. That's going to be a great Sunday night lineup. So Dean's will be on at 9 o'clock. And Dean came out of retirement from wherever he hides out to be with us tonight. Would you welcome Dean Martin?
How you been, Joey?
Hello.
Yeah, sure.
You're going to start already, huh?
No, I'm not starting.
How are you?
I'm almost through.
Good to see you.
How'd all these people get in your room? I'll let you know one thing, that there's going to be at least 110 people watching you tonight, because I'm going to Frank's house. You know, it's his party.
It's his 60th birthday.
And we're all going to get in his bed and watch it.
Well, that ought to be cozy little group.
Yeah, if they aren't watching, I guess the Coats will be watching you.
Yeah.
Someone will be watching you.
Did you get Frank something special?
How did you do out here?
Fair. I had a big opening, and that's it.
Imagine him getting away with that.
That was it.
Yeah, I know. At least, you know, New York's got the finest, but we've got the sweetest out here. That's policemen. Forget it.
Yeah.
Who's the next one to come out? I know you're going to ask me a question.
I'm going to ask
Bernie.
you a question.
Well, you go ahead, Bernie.
Did you get Frank something special for his 60th birthday? Did you
Yeah.
give him a nice gift?
But how do you wrap up glands? Just made that
To go, huh? Yeah, glands to go.
How is it going, Ed? Beautiful.
Yeah. You don't,
No, I quit that.
Here, use my coffee. What the hell, you?
I remember that from 8 years ago or something.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You know, at home, this desk looks bigger.
It is bigger at home.
Well, we'll ask Joanne if it is bigger at home.
Joanna.
Joanna.
There's an A on the end of that.
There was once just a Joanne.
Yes, that's true. There was also a Joan once.
Joan?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I had so many things I wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
These people look at you every night like this?
What do you
I
mean,
mean, the crew.
Well, we have a bigger group coming tonight because you and Bob are here, you see. Normally, nobody stands over there at all.
Oh, I thought they were here because Angie was here.
Yeah. Angie who? Dickinson? No, she's not on tonight.
Just saw her.
No, that was on... That was on...
When the elephant...
No, she's not...
We are.
I have a hangnail. I'm sterilizing it. Anyway...
Oh, don't throw it away. Don't ever throw that away.
That's finger licking good, isn't it? Yeah. Look.
Hey, Doc, how's your Severson?
You don't do many outside shows, do you?
I never get that. What?
You don't do many shows other than your own television show. I don't see you around.
I go to the Megam.
The what?
The Megam in Las Vegas.
Oh, the MGM Hotel,
MGM.
the Mega.
I go there 6 times a year. Pick up $400 or $500 and get out.
Do you gamble when you're up there?
Me gamble? Me? I was a croupier for 11 years, and you asked me if I would go up against them tables. Do you know that those tables are not there to be beaten? Do you know that the percentage will get you? Why don't you stop me when I'm yelling like that? You asked how many guys break you up, and you stopped at Lee Marvin.
No, Oh, you do. You're doing pretty good tonight, I'll tell you that. You're breaking me.
Yeah?
You're following me. I love you. Love you for it.
Do you?
I wish I was following you.
I like to follow you. Oh,
Well, we're going to come back in a minute. I'd like to talk about your special.
I have a special?
It's coming up Sunday. This Sunday.
Oh, is it? They actually put that thing together? I didn't know that. You said it the best. Everybody says, I didn't know that, or I didn't know that. But you said it the best. I didn't know that.
I practice a lot.
See how I set you up? I'm a straight man. Oh, I thought I was taller. Go ahead.
We're going to take a short break, but we're coming right back. Why am I talking like this? I've been a fan of Art Carney's ever since the first time I saw him perform. He's a fine comedian, a fine actor, and he deserves a nomination for his the Golden Globe Award for Best Actor of the Year for his performance in the film Harry and Tonto, which is also up for the Best Film of the Year. Would you welcome, please, Mr. Art Carney? I should have known.
Why?
I remember the last time you were on the show was the night we had Burt Reynolds on and Dom DeLuise. We were throwing eggs, and you came in with no trousers on that night.
It was a full moon.
That was a full moon night.
What makes you think I got trousers on tonight?
What are you wearing on the thing here?
Well, they make, actually, I was, I had a nosebleed, seriously.
Yeah, you were going to be on the show about a month ago.
What do you want me to look?
No.
Where's the nosebleed camera? And,
You were booked for the show.
You saved these?
Yeah.
And, they kept me there for a week. And, it kind of scares you, you know. The thing lasted about 18 to 24 hours. And they tested me for high blood pressure and... And, and I'm on medication now.
Good. Have you got any extra? Yeah, you want to? Doesn't bother you a bit, huh?
And they got me a room near the hospital, and they seriously, they put me on this high blood pressure medication that has affected me a little bit. I get the dryness in the mouth, so I carry these
Little cough drops.
the cough drops.
Right. No, you missed the pocket.
I beg your pardon?
You missed it.
Let me see. Oh, while they were there, they do something for a nosebleed. There's a vessel.
Look, you're not going to top Ann Margaret no matter what you do. No way. No, but that's true about the nosebleed, and it was kind of a serious thing, right?
And it scared me. Anyway.
Luckily, they have a hospital right near NBC here,
St. Joseph Medical.
which they had to put in when they put in the commissary. It was a law. I think there has to be a hospital within a reasonable distance.
And I got there. This is for flatulence.
You mean it helps it or it gives it to you?
And they got me a room near the hospital because, you know, in case the thing flared up. And I was watching the show a little while ago, and Shirley called me up and said somebody had to drop out or something. Would I get over here? Well, this is the way I look at the show every night. And I was lying in bed there, and actually about 15 minutes ago, I was thinking about Moose's meatballs.
You had a yearning for Moose
Yes,
meatballs.
I called up the deli and said, do you send Moose's meatballs to go? With the raisin cake toasted and coffee light. And I said, no, they didn't, so I'll get over there. And I saw her dance, and I just stopped thinking about Moose's meatballs.
Yes, gotta pick you up. Did you look good? You look in good shape. You look good now.
Well, I had a hot flash about 10 minutes ago.
It brought a little color to your cheeks, didn't it?
So Anyway, I did what I could to get over here as fast as I could.
Well-
I'm sorry about the outfit. But
No, I think you look stunning.
that's the way it goes.
I think you look stunning. How do you feel generally? You get things occasionally?
I feel pretty good now, and I lost weight, and I think one of these pills that I take in the morning is a diuretic, which, it takes the fluid.
Takes
out of the
water out,
system,
yeah.
Everything like that. And the other four are yellow. Yeah, they move. They're moving.
Moving pills.
I'll eat anything that isn't moving. But they do. Then the doctors always say, after a couple of weeks out, it'll level off. It's like when I had some oral surgery done about 3 months ago in New York and required 89 stitches. And I got a thing called paresthesia. And they always give you a little pamphlet, about the cotton and the gargling, everything like this. And they said a little numbness may occur from 3 to 4 days after this operation. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Then there's a dash, and then they say, then again, it may last 3 to 4 weeks.
24 weeks.
My brother's a dentist, and he knew a fellow that lasted 2 years, his paresthesia. So all this was numb inside and out. I don't know why I'm talking about my ailments, but I'm actually a pretty healthy man, and I've had things like, these are all legitimate ailments called Osgood-Schlatter's disease.
Osgood-Schlatter's disease?
Yes, that's a bum knee. That's a knee that I got in football. I've got a thing called angioneurotic edema.
Edema is fluid in the...
Right, angioneurotic edema. Now, you can get, the first time I got this was in the lips, and the lips swell up like that. I've had it in the eyelids, in the ears. You can get it any place. The most serious place of all I got it was in the throat, really, in San Francisco. I was on the road doing a play, and opening night, this thing started to swell up. I don't know, it's partially allergic and this and that and everything.
So that's
Yeah, and it swelled up. And then the next day, we had a matinee, and I'd had my breakfast, and I was talking to my wife, and I said, well, it went pretty well last night. I hope the people in the front row didn't notice the fat lip. And I got talking, and pretty soon I was talking like this and everything like this. I said, what's the matter with me now? And I couldn't talk. And this thing had hit the, I don't know whether you've had this happen to you. I hope it never does happen to you. Hit the vocal cords, hit the voice box.
And it
Is
just-
there a box down there in your voice?
That's what they call it, the larynx. The
And all of a
larynx.
sudden, I'm talking like this. And they got me to a doctor. Do you want some of this?
No, thanks. No.
And they got me to a doctor. No, it's a little witch. This is witch hazel with a little oil of wintergreen and a twist.
And a twist?
That's all. I'm in a wagon.
Are you sure you're not a hypochondriac?
That I am.
Well, what
Are
happened
you?
to your voice? I mean, go on. What?
Well, they got me to a doctor very fast because there was no pain attached to it. I couldn't talk. It was just like a whisper. And this doctor put adrenaline in one arm and some kind of cortisone in the other, which sped up the cortisone. And of course, I missed the show that night. And the next day, the feeling and the sound of my voice was like you'd been to a football game, hollowing your head off, and it was just complete hoarseness. But it's a scary kind of a thing.
Oh, that's never heard of
Yeah.
that.
And
I've never heard of the other thing you had, Sawyer's syndrome, or Osgood's problem.
that's the knee.
Oh,
Yeah, well, this is the bum like this was in 1944 over in France.
Oh, really?
Shrapnel wound, yeah.
I didn't know that.
I also have a hiatus hernia, which is right in here. Otherwise called a diaphragmatic hernia, herniated diaphragm, or an upside-down stomach.
Well, I'm
This is
certainly glad
are they eating
you're
in
here
Chicago?
tonight, I think.
This is serious too. They don't like to operate on this.
What, the upside-down stomach?
Red Skelton was operated on this. This is a thing that can happen, and you eat, and the food or liquid doesn't take a normal course. And
Goes round and round and comes out here.
And you wake up and you throw up for about 9 months.
That's weird. I've never heard of some of these
Know
things.
that. I've got another thing.
All right.
Neurodermatitis is another. Go ahead.
Neurodermatitis?
Contact dermatitis.
I worked with them in the Midwest once. Neurodermatitis.
Yes.
Opening act. You remember them, Frank?
Dermographism is another thing
What's
that
that?
I'm subject to. And conjunctivitis.
Oh, I know what that is. That's in the eyes.
Yeah, that's why you do that all the time, isn't it?
No, that's just a nervous habit.
Oh, is it?
That's Sawyer's syndrome. Osgood's knee. You could make a soap opera, just out of you alone. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back. One of Mr. Carney's varied talents is playing the piano. We have a piano.
Wishing I could play the piano.
Well, you know, you
Real
play well.
frustrating.
You play well. Would you like to noodle something for us? Certainly.
Well, you probably hear If Tenderly a September Song, and then I do it every year. Get this. Chord.
All right, my first guest tonight, folks. My first guest tonight was called the Shirley Temple of Czechoslovakia because of her, that's true, because of her success there as a child star. Now, I understand when President Reagan visited Chicago in June, she performed for the president, and the local media in Chicago was so taken by her that they started an actual campaign to get her booked on The Tonight Show. We actually got this tape you're going to see from PM Magazine, and this was part of the effort. We'll show you this. Watch the monitors here.
People say, Vlasta, you can get any higher than that, than playing for President of the United States. And I said, yes, but there's higher thing. I said, you know what's my dream is? I gotta get, and that's my wish, on Johnny Carson.
Here it is, the one, the only, Johnny Carson polka. Let's welcome Vlasta.
Come on, folks, and hear me out. What I have to say is all about your home. Johnny Carson is his name.
Chicago Radio's Jeff and Jer have made Tuesday Vlasta A Day on their WFYR-FM morning show. The phones jam up with callers who pledge signatures on petitions to send to The Tonight Show.
We will never give up. If this takes 10 years, we are going to get this woman on The Tonight Show somehow or another.
She's just so genuine. You really want to pull for her. You really want to see her on there. And it'll really be a victory for everybody. So the response has been incredible.
Well, folks, I'm here to tell you. Well, I'm here to tell you, folks, that Vlasta Aid paid off. Would you welcome, please, the international queen of polka, Vlasta. Okay, that's Vlasta, folks. Unplug the amplifier there. Okay, a little getting disengaged. How are you? How are you? How are you doing?
Johnny.
Yeah, sit down here. How are you? Okay. Ed will help you remove your accordion. It's our official accordion remover here. Well, how are you?
Oh, Johnny, you're so great.
Now, come on now. I don't want people to think I booked you for any, sexual reason. How are you? It's nice to have you here.
Thank you very much, Johnny. Can I have your drink or something?
It's a little coffee. Would you like some water?
Anything, just your coffee.
So
is
you
that
have a
right?
little coffee there. See? Did I pronounce your name right? Vlasta?
Vlasta.
No last name?
It's a Czechoslovakian name. She was a warrior
Vlasta was a warrior.
against the men.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Yeah, but you'd use no last name at all, huh?
I tell you why. I use it like Cher.
Okay.
Vlasta.
Who was also a warrior against men. So we'll take a break and we'll be right back. Okay, we are back. If you just joined us. If you just have joined us, this young lady is called Vlasta, just queen of the polka, international queen of the polka, right?
Yes,
Because
yes, Johnny.
you do come from Czechoslovakia, and you were telling me about this dress. 100 years old, did you say?
I want everybody to see it.
All right. Very pretty.
It's a costume. It's my mother brought it from the Museum of
Did she?
Czechoslovakia.
That's very lovely. Is there a king of polka?
Yes, Frankie Yankovic.
Frankie Yankovic, you're right.
Frankie Yankovic.
You know, when I worked at WOW in Omaha, Nebraska, I announced the polka parade at 6 o'clock in the morning. Did you know a guy playing polka called Whoopie John Wilfert?
I've heard of him too.
Yeah, right?
Yes.
Right.
That one I remember.
Yes.
And his band will play.
What?
Whoopie John will fart and his band will play.
That's right. That's absolutely true. Now, look, I know you're from Czechoslovakia. Now, shame, but didn't the polka now originate in Poland? Or am I wrong?
Well, a lot of people think, a polka means a Polish girl.
Mm-hmm.
But if anybody looks in a dictionary, it is, that's the translation. But really, in a dictionary, if you look, the polka means a half step.
I see.
But it originated. Polka originated 1830, Johnny, in a little village. And the girl names were Annie, Anichka called.
Anichka called.
Yes, and she was a pauper girl, and she started the polka steps. Later on, matter of fact, it went to Vienna, England, and every place. And people, the white, the cream of the folks, they used to pay in silver money, and then it came to United States. But the Polish people are the greatest promoters of polka in the United States.
I think you're right there. Yeah, that's true.
Chicago, especially.
You still practice all the time?
Oh, Johnny, I practice about 5-6 hours a day.
5 or 6 hours a day?
Yes, I do. Because it's a great instrument, and especially to be performing. And thank you, Mr. Doc Severinsen, to let me be part of you, because if you appear with Doc Severinsen, you can be that bad.
That's right. You have to have certain... We set certain standards to play with Doc, and you...
He is one of the best. He's one of the best.
He is one of the best.
Johnny, I come from the suburbs, from Berwyn.
You come from the suburbs where?
From Berwyn.
Berwyn.
Berwyn, that's right. So this is what the whole Chicago is watching tonight.
Yeah, well... Now, you were called the Shirley Temple of Czechoslovakia.
Yes, because I look like Shirley Temple when I was 4 years old.
You still look a little like Shirley Temple. Yeah, you've got that cute face.
Yeah, I used to tap dance and done about 20 movies.
Uh-huh.
And then we, what happened, we emigrated. We went to Germany, spent 4 years in a refugee camp. And we got lucky. I lost my dad in a war. And my mother brought me. Yes.
I think what they don't mean to laugh and be cruel.
It doesn't.
Because, no, what you said we got lucky, and then you said the next thing was we lost our dad in the war.
That's right. We're lucky to emigrate
They
to
were
the
not
United
being unkind
States.
at all.
And we got lucky to
When you say we, is your husband?
No, my mother and 2 little children.
You do have a husband, though, right?
Yes, and I got married when I was 16.
16?
Yes.
Does he listen to you practice?
Oh, Johnny, I tell you. See what happens? I come up with these tunes, and probably Mr. Doc Sorensen knows how this works. You get an idea, and doesn't matter it's afternoon or night. Sometimes I wake up at night at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I come up with a tune, so I pick up accordion, I wake my husband up. I says, Johnny.
At 2 o'clock, you wake your husband and play the accordion? Is that true?
Doc, you told me I can call you Doc? See,
He's not
Mr.
a medical
Sotheran
doctor. Did he tell you he was a... Did he try that routine about being a medical doctor?
No.
We've had some problems here in the studio.
So he must understand, too. Tunes come to you. That doesn't mean, 6 o'clock evening, are you going to write? No, it comes at night. So I wake up my husband. I says, honey, can you listen to this tune? So he gets up and he's listening to the tune. Sometimes he comes from work, and you guys are terrible. You either come from work, you read the news, watch the football game or baseball game, nobody can talk to you. So I wait when my husband takes a bath, and then I'll take my accordion, sit on the toilet, see John.
I'll tell you, any marriage that can survive a husband taking a bath and a wife sitting on the toilet seat with an accordion is a strong union.
And especially Johnny, when I work on your lyrics, that was my hardest one, because
Where did you compose that, may I ask?
My husband, came, he's a second shift, and I wish he would have been here with me, but he has to work and support me, what I'm doing. But
I'm sure he'll hear
he's
from you when you
an
get
auto body
home.
man. Hi, Johnny.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I've done lyrics for you, Johnny,
Yes.
a second, the hottest polka in Chicago, everybody's
Really?
playing it. I wrote the lyrics when I was taking a bath with my husband.
Did you have the accordion in there with you at the time?
No, because my husband's name is Johnny.
Ah.
And this is what it is, so I practice on him and try to on you.
I'm honored and flattered. Is this the number you're going to do for us, the next one?
So
or-
I would like to say, Johnny, I wrote this song especially for you. And I want to say thank you for Doc Sorensen to help me out, make a great arrangement.
Not anybody can work with Doc.
And he's the top #1. And his band. And Johnny, this is my honor to be on your show. And I want to thank you, Chicago, for putting me on Johnny Carson show.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. What?
Johnny,
Yes.
This song is especially the polka. And do you think you can come here because it's especially for you that I can show you little bit steps to polka? Would you do that?
I really don't know how to polka.
I'll teach you. It's very easy. 1, 2, 3.
Next time. Yeah, we better do the number. If we do all this, we're not going to have time for Alan, so maybe we can just play it this time and we'll dance at a time to be announced in your local paper. What, dear? Can you help? What do I do here?
Just put it over.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it.
All right.
Okay. And just, here.
Okay.
Just,
All right. All right. Oh, yeah. That's a very dangerous instrument. No, we've talked long enough. Okay. Get that thing cooking.
Come on, folks, and hear me out what I have to say. It's all about your host, Johnny Carson is his name. He's on each evening entertaining you. Yes, on Tonight Show, he made it polka too. Johnny, Johnny, come on, dance with me. I'll teach you the polka. It's lots of fun, you'll see. Johnny, oh Johnny, it's just 1, 2, 3. You'll feel great all over if you do the polka with me. Yeah! Johnny, Johnny, come on, dance with me. I'll teach you the polka. It's lots of fun, you see. Johnny, oh Johnny, it's just 1, 2, 3. You'll feel great all over if you do the polka with me. Yeah!
Oh, thank you, Lassa. We'll be back in a moment.
And this is the first time we've had him on the show, or at least we've had a chance to meet. Would you welcome, please, Oliver Reed? It's nice to have you with us.
Thank you for having me.
How are you?
Quite extraordinary.
Yes, that's what... that's what I hear. You and Miss Winters have never worked together.
No, we haven't.
Didn't you used to be under contract at RKO?
No, you see,
I'm sorry. I'm intimidated by the British.
Why is that? You know, most Americans, and I've said that on the show before, seem to be intimidated by English people in general. They feel a little, I guess, insecure. I don't know.
Most of them, you see, we made love to.
Most of them.
I would have remembered.
You've forgotten. No, I don't know why. I think it's a myth. I think it's very polite. I think America is an amazing country simply because it's comprised of a mosaic of European culture, do you understand? Yeah. And people that came to America, it seems to me, because they thought that they were either economically or socially or religiously persecuted. And they came and they made a happy place of it.
Right.
Some of them behaved themselves and some of them are quite loud.
We have a great mixture here. What,
I would have remembered.
But you forgot, sweetheart. Give me your hand.
We do know each other.
One written Sour Misfortunes book.
This can't be happening on television.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I thought it was my turn.
It is.
Anyway.
Yes, anyway, what brings you here?
I'm here making, I have just finished a film called Burnt Offerings with Betty Davis, who you remember.
Yes, I remember.
And Karen Black, who maybe is a little younger than you.
Yeah, but she's not as... Never mind.
But Betty Davis is probably older.
Yes, and it's called Burnt Offerings. Mm-hmm. And we made it in San Francisco, in Oakland, just outside.
Yeah. Betty Davis is quite a lady. She has been with us several times on this show. And is one of the great actresses, I guess. You've never worked with her?
Never worked with her before at all, no. I rode her food trolley up and down the corridor outside her room at nights, and she got a bit cross about that.
Being the room service table outside?
That's right. But it was all right.
I
sent her some roses. She gave me a tennis ball signed with Betty Davis and a picture of herself.
She gave you a tennis ball signed Betty Davis?
Yes. She gave it all. It was amazing because she used to live in this hotel, and outside they had, because I believe they didn't make enough money. I could be incorrect. They didn't make enough money out of the hotel, so they've turned the tennis courts. It's like a gymnasium. There are swimming pools, people come in with rubber hats on, they swim up and down, people play tennis all day. And Betty Davis came along and she borrowed a pair of binoculars because she's supposed to bird watch in the film. In actual fact, she was looking at the fellas playing tennis. And so when the film finished, she gave us all a tennis ball.
That's very nice. I don't have one myself, and I wouldn't like
I'll
to have
ask
one.
her.
Would you ask
Yes.
her next time?
They're on the prop strike.
We have to take a break? All right, we'll do a commercial. We'll be right back. Stay where you are. We're talking with Oliver Reed and Shelley Winters, and you brought up the word kinky, which is a word they use in England quite often, but it's
Yes.
not too used here.
Well,
How would you define that? And then
the
I'll
English
ask.
are rather kinky. They never talk about sex. Never.
We just do it, madam.
Yes, don't you?
That's quite British.
Yes.
Yes. We talk about it a lot, America, and discuss it.
Do you know, I'm playing a colonel in my next film, and this is why I look extraordinary. And I combed my hair, and I thought...
You look like Hitler.
Excuse me.
That's why I didn't recognize
Do you know that Hitler was an Austrian, and most Prussians and British are very close, and that's why we fought each other. Mark my words. So
anyway, you're doing the...
So I'm playing a colonel. I thought, I don't know what to do. So I went into half this is pencil, because I've only grown it for 4 days. It proves I'm not terribly virile. But they penciled it in. And I was going to...
I remembered.
That is why, ladies and gentlemen, you woke up the next morning with my moustache.
Yes. Sometimes a mustache and a mask will hide the identity.
How come you get a moustache?
No, wait a minute. This is American. We're very Puritan. We have the Puritan tradition here.
Yes.
Can I leave now for the theater? I have to be on the stage in a little while.
You don't really have to leave, do you, Sean?
No.
And you have met before. And
Do you know there's no way... Please be quiet for a minute.
Yes, sir.
Good.
I am not really used to this. Will you please be quiet for a minute while I talk to this gentleman? I'm on the show
Yes, sir.
to talk.
Okay.
Not just to hear you, madam.
Yes, sir.
Right, Oliver. This is like it'll be...
Right? And she was saying it was a bad audience? Women's liberation, madam, will never survive. Not while I'm in the kitchen.
This could turn out to be a hell of a fight tonight.
Oh, you won't slip down because, madam, I noticed while you were on the show, you're actually far more controlled than you make out. Would you take off your shoe?
One?
Because on the bottom of your shoe, you have some...
I bought them in England.
Do you know why that's on there? Do you know why? So she won't fall over. That's dry British humor. But then I'm only playing a colonel.
Yes.
Royal Scots Dragoon Guards.
Is that what you are? Are you a member of the Royal Scots?
No, actually, in the film, I'm supposed to be... the opening scene of the film is quite funny, actually, because the opening scene... This is the new film. I read the script yesterday. I very rarely read a script. And I'm looking at some cows, and the lady comes up to me, and she said, would you join my father? I'm Colonel Blood's daughter. And I say, how do you do, madam? And she said, I would like you to come and join my father's army. I said, I've given up the Special Air Service, the commandos, the paratroop regiment, MI5, MI16. I've given all that stuff off, and I've given it all up, and I'm just with the cows. And there's boom, boom in the background. She said, what's that? And I said, it's my gamekeeper, keeping away my creditors. And she said, well, then won't you join the army for money? And the British have been mercenaries. And I said, well, I don't really want to. I mean, if the cows could give milk, we'd be on good footing. And she looks down, they're all heifers. So she says, they're all heifers. So I say, oh, I've never had anything to do with sex and that sort of thing.
Oliver, don't do this picture. Don't do this film.
Well, you should see the cows. I'll give up smoking now.
It's Friday, all right.
But it's not Las Vegas.
It's not. Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't. They tell me they gamble there. They game. In England, we call it gaming.
Gaming, yes, and it's very big in England, but it's legalized in England. It's not. You have what they call, not bookies as we call them, but what is the
turf accountants?
Turf consultants.
Accountants.
Accountants.
Turf
which
accountants.
is a very high-class name for a...
Well, it's for a bookie.
For a bookie, right.
Up until a few years ago, we used to have bookies runners. You could never, up until about 12 years ago in England, you weren't allowed to have a turf accountant's shop. And people used to stand on the side of the road with a piece of paper in their top pocket. And they used to flag you down. And you would go, you'd stop the car, and you would say, I want it on the nose, the 2:30 at Ascot.
And drive away, that was it?
And drive away. And the next day you would drive back to exactly the same place, and he wouldn't pay you.
It takes the fun out of it now when you have turf accountants. That
Well,
sounds like more fun stopping on the side of the road.
I like to win sometimes.
Yeah.
No.
Let me leave for a second here, but we shall return. Right here. You're one of the few English entertainers, I understand, that still, a lot of them have changed residence, have they not, out of England, because of the heavy taxation.
Yes.
They seem to move, somebody said they had a group on one night that moved to the Isle of Man because of the high taxes and so forth.
Yes, they've made it now very expensive. In the Isle of Man, apparently somebody's got to give to the government of the Isle of Man a great deal of money in order that they live there, to prove that they're not using it as a tax shelter.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, a lot of people have left. It becomes at times prohibitive to live there. I still stay there. That's the next question. I still stay there because I've fallen in love with my horses and my old house, which is falling down. And
What happened to the cows? I'm sorry.
That was in the picture.
Oh, that was in
wasn't
the
it?
picture.
Yes.
I'll be quiet.
I've fallen in love with my horses, madam, and my old house, which is falling down. And I've spent the last 3.5 years with the aid of a lot of film technicians who now can't get a job, like painters and plasterers and chippies. We're trying to get it back together again.
When you say old house, an old house in this country would be 100 years, but in England, an old house, 100 years means nothing.
There's the rub, because I can't get any help because Victoriana is being pulled down. I've made a movie in San Francisco recently, and some of the great Victorian architecture in San Francisco is being pulled down. And they're building huge, great cement
high-rises, yeah.
Certainly.
They're very good at that, though. You know.
No, but in their place.
plumbing is-
But it is a shame, you know, because nobody's into Victorian architecture. In England, you know, if it's Georgian or it's Tudor, then everybody keeps it alive and they say it's a pity because the trucks come through. I believe that Victorian architecture should be kept alive. And I asked because I believe that, madam, in another 100 years' time, people are going to say, did you just leave me the ashes of the earth? Or did you leave me a house? And I believe that at the end of the last century and the beginning of this, some people made in opinions of most ugly buildings. But I believe that Victoriana, come another 100 years' time, is going to be of sufficient importance that maybe our great-grandchildren will
Should have something to look at.
Yes, and that seems to strike a heavy note, but I do. And so I have...
Oliver, could I take a second of your time? Just a second. Quick,
madam.
just
You've
a
taken
second.
most of the show. I know you... I know you've got to go to the theatre.
I know when my little girl, who's gorgeous now, 22, was little, about 15 months old, I did a picture in London, and I came there with my mother and the nurse, and, And anyway, and they rented a house for us on Curzon Street or something, and we walked in, and it was really, outside it looked beautiful, but inside, the temperature was about 10 degrees below zero, and it was very gloomy, and Gregory Peck had slept there. That was the famous thing about it, and before that it had been
And he's not 23?
No, and before that it had been a brothel. You know, those girls who used to come there. And this man extolled this house and said to my mother, this house is 300 years old. And my mother said, but do you expect me to live in it with a baby? No, but, okay, I got it so long. Next time.
You gotta go to the theater.
Thank you.
Anyway.
A lot of non sequiturs tonight. Things just kind of trail off and...
She's all right. She can't shout at us now.
Yeah, she knows. She's...
So much for women's lib. Who's the lady that shouted?
Do they have women's lib movement, big in England also?
Always,
Oh, it's
always.
all over
But
now.
the women in England are quite good. They're always in the kitchen, so you can't hear them when they shout.
You think that's where they should be, huh?
I think that most women are very happy. I really think that most women are happy in the kitchen, not because they like... men make the best chefs. When do you ever go to a hotel and find the chef is a woman, madam?
I think
Shakespeare wasn't a bird, madam. And neither's Johnny Carson.
I think if they paid women in the kitchen as much as they pay chefs in hotels, women would love to be in the kitchen.
I think that basically women are very happy in the kitchen simply because it means that they're feeding their children and looking after their man. I think that the time arises when a woman is put out to work. And I think then when she comes back and says, oh, I've had a heavy day, and the husband arrives at the same time, that's a bad deal, because then they're going to fight who's going to cook and who's going to wash up.
Yeah.
I think that a woman's place is looking after her man and her children, and I think a man's place is to look after her, to protect her, and provide her with a little warmth. I really do believe
you have the old-fashioned concept, right?
Yeah, but it's fairly sweet. I mean, the women's liberationists, if they thought about that... Shh! Quiet, woman! Women's liberationists... I think that women's liberationists...
Now that's what is known as savoir-faire, when you can continue.
I think that women's liberationists sometimes do extraordinary things. I don't think that, in actual fact, that it gives them much armament to their cause. I mean, the fact that I have been smothered in whiskey, and it is whiskey, I can taste it, pays no cause to the lady. There are going to be a lot of people on this program that will laugh at that, and there will be several who will probably be quite indignant. I'm not indignant, because this is indicative of the bad manners of a lot of chauvinist ladies.
I like this show myself.
And I shall stay here until it dries.
I hope you just lick it off. If Ed was here, he'd help you clean up. We'll be right back. Kevin Pollak is a young comedian and actor who appeared, believe it or not, as one of the tiny brownies in Willow last summer. He's now co-starring in a new series on another network, as they say, called Coming of Age, which goes on October 24th, and he appears regularly at the Improvisation in Hollywood. Would you welcome, please, Kevin Pollak. How you doing?
Very good. Very good.
Did you ever hear Harpo Marx play the harp?
I love Harpo.
You see? How you doing?
Very good, very good.
You were supposed to be with us a week or so ago, and we ran long or something. Somebody told me, now everybody, I did when I was a kid, I'm sure Whoopi did, everybody who does comedy starts out by stealing other people's voices and does impressions.
I would hide behind them.
Because it's easy to go to.
Oh, yeah.
Who do you do?
Well, I started as a waiter, and I would try out the impressions on the customers. That's how I first started. And it helped, because when you're a waiter and you bring the wrong order, you make a mistake, you just don't want to be yourself at that particular moment. For example, one night this woman asked for rice with her fish, very common order. I was in a hurry. I made a mistake, bought her baked potato. Well, she's screaming at me. She can't believe I bought her baked potato. I go, excuse me, ma'am. Geez, I'm sorry. Did I bring you baked potato with fish? What the hell was I thinking?
How do you do the
That's what he said when I met him.
Even the eye goes.
Yeah. And you start to develop certain lines. If they say, waiter, can we have our check, please? And I go, okay, doke. And they made me assistant manager, which is fun, you know. Yeah. Just my job to go to tables if there was a problem. I'd bring over a bottle of champagne, only I'd be drinking it. Hello, everyone! Is there a problem with the waiter? I'll go ahead when that happens.
What kind of reaction did you get from this?
Oh, they liked it. They liked it. And then, well, a lot of support in San Francisco, where I'm from.
Yeah.
I was just back there doing a show. And everybody was very excited from the family, very supportive. My mom, though, was obsessed that Humphrey the humpback whale had come back, resurfaced. Remember, he got stuck in the Sacramento River?
He's supposed to come back this year. We did, yeah.
And I kept thinking, where's William Shatner? You know, whale in trouble. You bring in Bill Shatner. Humphrey, listen to me. Time and space. You're taking up valuable time and space.
Lady, look, I hate to go back and do the Falk again.
Well, let me just ask you something, John, if I can. I'm very sorry. I don't mean to bother you, gee, I'm sorry.
So get some minutes, yeah. That's marvelous. That's marvelous. You got a good ear. Where are you from originally?
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Yeah. And it's.
Did you ever work on the streets up there, or just in clubs?
Oh no, just the clubs.
Yeah, because a lot of performers start out on the streets.
With the show now, I got to write an episode, so I'm very excited about that. Because my mentors really were Albert Brooks and Woody Allen growing up, watching them. As a matter of fact, John, let me just say, I'm not comfortable. I don't think it's just me, okay? I think it's the suit. You have your own clothing, the Johnny Carson line, very nice. This is the Danny DeVito collection, okay?
Nobody's ever done Albert Brooks before.
Right. And I finally met him, and this is the day he got the nomination for Broadcast News.
Right.
And I came in and I said, listen, Albert, congratulations. He knew that I did an impression of him. I said, congratulations on the nomination. Obviously, no one could be more thrilled for your success than I am. And he said, of course not. No one has more to gain from it than you. So it's been fun.
The show goes on
Monday.
I understand. Isn't Doc's wife Emily associated?
Emily Marshall. She created the show. That's right. And although she and Doc share a life, I can assure you she's younger and much more attractive.
Gee, a two-income family. How nice.
Yeah.
Albert Brooks. You don't do Woody, do you?
Well, I tell you what. Ask me if I want to go fishing. This is my favorite story.
Would you like to go fishing?
Actually, without sounding a bit didactic, I think it's extremely important we analyze this little request of yours. First of all, I don't like fishing, you know, because you have to pack, and I'm not a real skilled packer. I think I put that in my resume. You might want to check that. And they don't like fish, you know. I don't like any actual form of life where they can be enticed by a worm, with the possible exception of my Aunt Bessie, who married Uncle Bernie, of course, a man with many worm-like qualities.
That's marvelous. Good rhythm. Good acceptance, Mr. Woody. We'll be right back.
We're talking with former Governor Reagan, and during the break we were discussing, when I mentioned that I thought most people were not apathetic, I think they're confused, basically, because you hear intelligent people from both political parties or in the middle, conservatives and liberals, and they all seem to have different answers as to what is going wrong in the country. Some people say, well, let's let the government spend billions of dollars, and then other people say, no more federal spending. Let's give the tax rebates. And the other intelligent people say, no tax rebates. We've got to do this and do that. So everybody is confused. How do you see the thing? How are we going to get out of this?
Well, Johnny, I think that one of the things is that people keep looking to government for the answer, and government's the problem. A moment ago, you asked, about people and feeling not only confused, but low and down in America. First of all, the American people, if they would just take a little inventory and look around, you triple our troubles, and we're better off than any other people on earth. And we've asked so much of government, and we've gotten in the habit over the last 40 years of thinking that government has the answers. There's very little that government can do as efficiently and as economically as the people can do themselves. And if government would shut the doors and sneak away for about 3 weeks, we'd never miss them. Now, if the people want to
Anybody you had in mind particularly?
No, I said this while I was in government.
Okay.
Our biggest problem is that we have built a permanent structure of government, federal, state, and local. the permanent employees, and they've come to the place that they actually determine policy in this country more than does the Congress of the United States. There are 14.5 million public employees in the United States. That's quite a voting bloc. And the bureaus and agencies, not in Washington, I heard you talking earlier about some of the research programs. Well, there was a senator the other day, and he took up some pages of the congressional record. He was doing the same thing you were, listing all these crazy research programs and how much they were costing, and wound up his speech by introducing his own. He wants a study and a research of transcendental meditation.
So,
you know, there's a state senator in Michigan, and he just found out the other day they got a $93,000 study on whether chitlins are bad for you. And he said that as a fourth-generation chitlin eater, he figured that he could tell you how for 93 cents you could find out the answer to that.
No, we laugh at those things, but they do happen, I guess.
Oh, listen, you had some beauties and there's some others. What would you say if I told you about a study in which this was called the demography of happiness? And in this study, the government found out that young people are happier than old people. And they found out that people that earn more are happier than people that earn less. And they found out that well people are happier than sick people.
That's good. Well, that's
now,
glad
this
to
was
know
$249,000 to find out it's better to be rich, young, and healthy than old, poor, and sick.
So when you say now that it's the government may be the problem, so what do people do? They have to look to somebody, and you say if they look for themselves, that's it may be good advice. But how about somebody who's on a Social Security pension or a pension they're trying to live on $150 a month? You know, they have to look to somebody, I guess.
Yeah.
They're saying, hey, we can't make it. We can't afford to go to a doctor.
Well, 62% of the people can't stay home in an election and cure things, as we did in the last election.
I just read this week heard this week on the radio. They dropped 300,000 voters from the Los Angeles roll because they didn't take the time to go to the polls in the last election. 300,000 people.
It was the lowest percentage in history. Only 38% of the people voted in the national election. And this means that people aren't paying any attention to what... Well, here, a poll was taken recently that found out that only 46% of the people in the poll could name their United States congressman. But what was worse, 86% of those who could name him couldn't tell you a single thing that he represented or stood for.
They just knew that he represented the state. But
he was a congressman, but what's he doing while he's up there? And the same is true at the local levels of government and all the rest. But
so you're saying people really have to take an active interest, and you have to have citizen action groups locally and
let them know.
Concerned
See, the special
citizens,
interest groups. Now, the special interest groups aren't, as everyone thought, big, powerful business interests or something that are going to persuade government to do things. As a matter of fact, I don't know anyone with less influence today in government than business. They're just a convenient whipping boy. But it's the groups that have got a particular axe to grind. You can't have a power plant because it might interfere with the seagulls. Now, I think I'm an environmentalist. And I do not agree with those people way over on the edge who pave the whole country over in the name of progress. But also, I don't like those on the other extreme that won't let you build a house unless it looks like a bird's nest. Someplace in the middle, we got to allow people our ecology, too.
Right.
Well, this kind of group, and they want their particular program. Hundreds of dollars have been added to the cost of an automobile, putting gadgets on it to clear up the air. We're the only country in the world that's set out to do it that way. The automobile industry, over and over again, told government if they give them more time, the answer lay in making the motor more efficient and making it burn the fuel better. And when they were given the limited time, there was only one thing they could turn to. That was the add-ons that you had to go.
And the verdict is really kind of still out on those, whether they're going to add more sulfuric acid to the air or not.
Yeah.
What do you think's going to happen? Now, you've been asked this question. I'm sure you knew that I might possibly bring it up tonight. There's an election coming up. You're out of politics now, but you're speaking, and as I say, you're going around the country. Do you envision a possibility, say in '76, if the convention, say, was deadlocked? I'm giving you all the theories and so forth, and the conservatives took over possibly and got control of the electoral process, and they couldn't quite make a decision, and they came to you and said, Governor Reagan, We can't decide between Mr. Ford and Mr. Rockefeller. We're divided. Would you like to go to the White House?
You remember that answer I gave you about the CIA?
Yeah. Oh, come on. No, I won't buy that. I'm not going to buy that. No, I can understand the CIA now, but...
No,
I thought that was delicately phrased.
Yes. Verbose but delicate.
Yeah, verbose but delicate.
No, I think it's an unanswerable question. I don't think anyone, in view of the things that have gone on in the last few years, knows what's going to happen in the next 2 years down the road. I think that everyone should hope and pray that people are there will do the job so well that there won't be any question about it. Because if they do, then everything's all right with the rest of us.
You think they're doing their job well?
Well, I agree with some things and disagree with others. When they give me a choice between a $53 billion deficit in the budget and an $80 billion deficit, when budget deficits are what's causing inflation, I don't see that there's any room to be on either side of that argument.
Yeah,
I think the answer to curing inflation is a balanced budget.
Now, how do you do that? I mean, how do you balance the budget?
Well, balancing the budget is like protecting
You don't
your
spend more than you take in, right?
No, it's like protecting your virtue. You have to learn to say no.
There's got to be another way. What's the second option?
Well, no, there's some ways that this could be brought about. First of all, that limitation. Here's another one. Why shouldn't we have, in addition to a simplified income tax, why shouldn't we also have a law that says that any time a legislator or a congressman introduces a spending program, he has to introduce with it a tax program to pay for it? Then let the people find out. There was a woman that, from a financial firm that was back at the President's Economic Council, and her words weren't quoted. Everybody else's words got in the paper, all the Hellers and the Galbraiths and all the so-called economists. And I have a degree in economics, so I can say this. I think an economist is someone who has a Phi Beta Kappa key on one end of his watch chain and no watch on the other. This woman said that you go to the polls and you ask the people, do they want some social service, some program that government can give? And the people in the polls are apt to read and say, hey, that sounds good, yeah.
Mm.
But she says that isn't exactly accurate. She says put a $100 bill in each person's hand and then show them the program and say, now, isn't that a nice program? Do you want it? Give me the $100. And she says, see what the poll says then and how many people hang on to the $100 instead of the program.
In other words, if it's rather hidden and someone doesn't know exactly where it's going to come
They
from.
all the government programs start $1 down and we'll catch you later. And they multiply all of those things that you were... The Office of Management and Budget in Washington, that's responsible for the budget, putting the budget together, cannot even tell you how many boards, commissions, agencies, bureaus, and departments there are in the federal government.
Yeah.
But all of them can pass regulations. And those regulations have the force of law. And the difference is, when you break the law, you're innocent until proven guilty. When you break a regulation, the fellow that charges you with breaking the regulation, you're guilty.
Right.
And if you want to take him to court and prove you're innocent, that's up to you. Right. And all of these are things that yes, we can trim the budget. There's enough fat in the federal government that if you rendered it, you could wash the world.
They took a poll of the American people the past week, and I think 78% or something, around 75% were opposed to more military aid to Vietnam and Cambodia and Southeast Asia in general. And yet the administration was trying to tell the American people that a couple $100 million or $222 million would make some kind of difference, or that the government might make it. And how do you feel? Do you think that that is a lost cause in a way? I think people can see humanitarian, for children, hospitals, et cetera, medical supplies and food. But it seems that the public has just almost had it up with military involvement, where we feel we are not directly threatened.
Well, we are fed up. We're war weary after a long and badly fought war. On the other hand, and this is one where I'll probably lose a lot of people because it isn't popular or political to say this today. When we withdrew our troops, we made a ceasefire, a peace agreement. And it was based on supporting the non-communist forces in Indochina on a basis of one-for-one replacement. Every bullet they expended a bullet to replace it if the communists violated the ceasefire. The communists have violated the ceasefire 72,000 times since it was instituted and we brought our men home. And I think for the United States to break its word, we're in that agreement. We pledged something, and the Congress is now saying that the United States reserves the right to just break its word and not, what are their allies ever going to trust us? And there's no question that backed by Red China and the Soviet Union, the communist forces in Vietnam and Cambodia are on their way to take those over. They do, of course, Laos just automatically falls. Then they're on the edge of Indonesia, 140 million people, which comes within 14 miles at its nearest point of the Philippines. The domino theory is in existence.
Is that still a viable theory, do you think?
And yes, it is. And I could see the United States one day being very, very lonely. Now, it's a very funny thing that the same forces that want to cut our defense spending are the same ones that want to increase all these social services and this social tinkering and experimenting that hasn't worked. And every time it doesn't work, they just impose a more expensive program on top of it. I think the American people, if they really look at all the facts, yes, we want fiscal responsibility. But I think we also want a country that is strong enough at all times that we can say to any adventurous guys over there on the other side of the water, you better look twice, brother, before you start getting rough. That we can take care of ourselves.
As you said, even before you made the statement, that would probably get mixed reaction from an
And I can
audience.
understand that. People are, and it's hard to understand how maybe your interest is involved 10,000 miles away. But Russia seems concerned that their interests extend all the way to Cuba and to South America, to Chile, and to other countries of that kind. And they're the ones that have said they're going to impose their way of life on the rest of the world. We haven't said we want to do it to the rest of the world, our way.
Let me ask you one more question before you go. Let us assume that there's a third party, that neither party seems to go.
Yeah.
You like this approach already, huh? And they're thrown into disarray, as they say, and a third party is formed. Would you think that'll ever happen in this country, where a third party will be a major type of alternate to what we have?
Well, I'd still prefer to see a revitalization of the two major parties we have, because the two-party system has served us very well. Third parties have a notorious way of not being successful. Now, the Republican Party, some people say, well, that was a third party 100 years ago when it started. It actually wasn't. It was a second party. The Whig Party had shrunk and shrunk, and then the remainder of the Whig Party said to two other groups that had formed parties, hey, want to get together with us? They changed their name and called themselves the other party. And so it was, in effect, the Whigs just disappeared. It was a new second party. Maybe this is time. Maybe it's time for realignment between people who might find themselves in the wrong parties. Maybe there are some people still voting. I was a Democrat most of my life. I became a Republican only not too many years ago. And I had the pleasure of telling some of those people that are saying the Republican Party ought to broaden its base the other day that when I switched parties, I didn't do it because the two parties were alike. I did it because they were different. And I think that the two parties ought to stand up as to what they represent, what they stand for. A third party, they have a way of electing the wrong people because they simply divide themselves from the other forces that feel the same way, and then the other fella sneaks in. And it could happen that neither party would represent what the people want, and finally the people would take some action, do something about it. But I'd rather devote our effort to seeing if we can't find out what the present two parties stand for and which one we want to vote.
But you don't see yourself, or do you see yourself as maybe as a part of that, active politically again? I certainly don't give up, do I?
Yeah, you sure don't. I wish I could think of a good get-off line.
I have Lawrence Spivak's old question, you know, for this.
Nancy, you know, said to say hello tonight. She thought it was great that we're both in town at the same time.
You too, huh? I get that. Thanks for being with us tonight, really. It was a pleasure to see you again, my best.